Hello and welcome back to art class. Today we are going to be doing something called PipeDream. PipeDream is a project I love to do every year because it helps with creating the illusion of 3D and working on our shading. Okay, you're going to need a few things for this week on this project. This is another couple week project. You're going to need paper, eraser, pencil. You're going to want 2 pieces of paper. You're going to want a ruler. I recommend one of these thicker type rulers if you got it. If you got a skinnier one, that'll be fine. You'll just have to do a little bit of an adjustment for that. But I like these thick plastic ones because it's just going to make it a little bit easier because we're going to use it to trace an exact thickness. I'm not going to have to do any measuring. I just want it for the thickness that it is. And you're also going to want some glue. So the first part of this project is really easy. There's not a lot of work to it. We need a bigger piece of paper. So since most of us only have these regular size sheets of paper, we're going to glue them together. If you're using notebook paper for this, you know, it might be better to glue the circle parts together right in the middle so that they don't make it so that they line up. Make it so that one covers up the other, so we only have one set of holes in the paper. But if you can do white paper, that's the best way to go. What I'm going to do, we've done this before. Okay, once this is set, let sit for probably about half an hour or so the glue really dries. We don't want to be drawing on this and then have problems with the glue getting screwed up in there or messing up your drawing because it's wet. So let that sit. All right, and we're back. So you can see that mine's dry, and we're going to get started. Now it's pretty easy what we're going to have you do. We're going to be putting about 4 different pipes on here, and where I get the name of this project from is called PipeDream. And I put a link in the assignment there to a video in YouTube that is a PipeDream. All it is it's an old screensaver, and it's kind of got the same basic idea of this. I just wanted to show you where people have used this idea before. The people at Microsoft, most of you know that name, is a big computer programmer. They use that for a long time on their computers as a screensaver. In the link, it runs for about 10 hours. You do not need to watch that whole thing. I just gave you the one that had the format in the original, and you can just watch it for a couple minutes and just see how that screensaver works. It's kind of mesmerizing. If you're kind of tired, you can kind of zone out while watching it. Okay, so what I'm going to need is you to take your ruler, and the first one is going to be pretty easy. What I'm going to have you do is we're going to put a bend in the thing, in the pipe, and trace both sides of the pipe. So I'm going to use the ruler, both sides of the ruler to make the pipe. So my pipe will always be as thick as this piece. Now I want it to go straight down, so I'm going to do this. Line it up. Like that, and then I just go back in and make sure that like that. So it's pretty easy. Okay. You could be a little bit more complicated, where you do a U-turn. So here's an example of a U-turn. Now notice I left one side a little bit longer because I knew I was going to turn it, and it just makes it easier to line up my ruler. I did the same thing here, made one side longer so I know which way to turn it. That. Okay, that's pretty good. But what if we want to go even more, where we have, I'm going to have one pipe go behind the other, so I want to show you how to do that. That's pretty easy. And I think I'm going to have this pipe kind of zigzag. Nope. I think I'm just going to actually have the pipe go straight because I'm trying to plan ahead. Now the problem is, let me get my thing here. This part makes sense, like here. What do we do about this? Well, I need to figure out which one's gonna be on top. Is this one gonna be on top? If this pipe here is on top, then I would have to make the pipe look like it goes behind it. I just don't draw right there. If I want this pipe on top, then I have to draw over and then go back and erase. So it just, you gotta plan as you're going. So I want this pipe on top, so I'm not gonna draw on top of it. See? So now this one looks like it's going across this one. But this time, I'm gonna have it so it looks like they're crisscrossing. So now I need to go back and I want this pipe on top. So I need to go back in and erase this. So just, that's a big thing people forget to do, is erase the pipe that's supposed to be hiding. Okay. Good. And then we need a fourth pipe. I'm gonna put one right here. Let's go a little further. One thing I would avoid doing is this. Some people I've seen do this. They draw one side, then they try to bring their ruler down and draw the other one. Well, then it gets weird on their sizing. So I draw one side and then I just trace the other side. Remember, we're not having to measure anything. So it makes it easier when you can just use it like a stencil and just trace both sides. Okay. Need to fix my corner there. There is my first part. I have 4 pipes. The max you can have on your pipe is 5 on there. The reason being is we're going to add couplers in next, and the couplers are not hard, but they do take up some space, so you got to leave some room to go. Your pipes all need to have at least a 1 bend in them, but you could have, if maybe you are having problems like you couldn't fit anything else, you could end up having 1 straight pipe. Maybe I have 1 straight pipe that goes all the way across from top to bottom and it doesn't have any bend. I will allow 1 pipe to be perfectly straight. The other ones have to have at least 1 bend in them. Okay. They could have multiple bends, like this one they got multiple. I've had one person who did a loop before. That was kind of neat. You really can't do more than 1 loop just because there isn't a lot of space. So that gets kind of tricky. You do have to have 4 to 5 pipes. 4 to 5 pipes. Okay, let me show you how to do the coupler real fast. Let me get a scratch piece of paper here. Move this off to the side for a second. Okay, couplers. You need to find a straight pipe. So let me draw one here. Like this. Okay, so you got a section of pipe. Now a coupler is a piece that joins 2 pieces of pipe together. And it's usually a little bit bigger than the pipe itself. Okay? So basically, like if you're trying to just fit 2 pieces, because you know pipes aren't infinitely long, you have to join them together to get them together. So we need that piece right here. So what I'm going to do is erase the section where I want it to go. So step 1 is to erase. It's pretty easy. Step 2 is I like to hand draw this. You could use your ruler. It'd probably actually look nicer with your ruler, but I hand draw this part. I'm going to draw a box that is clearly bigger on both sides of the pipe. My size is usually my finger. That's where I figure out if I'm big enough. That way I can clearly tell what this is going to be. Now the problem is that does not look very 3D. It honestly looks very flat, so we need to make some adjustments. Remember, a coupler is going around a pipe, and a pipe is supposed to be a cylinder, something round. So we need to make this look like it's a piece that is going around it. So I'm going to make this curved, and I'm going to make this one curved as well. Notice that they're curving in the same direction. They could either curve both this way or both this way. Okay, next, I'm going to make this look like it's going behind, because it's going wrapping all the way around the pipe. I'm going to make make this straight nice and dark so you can see it better. Okay, so we've got top, bottom, these are the sides going around. Now, I didn't put this part going on because I can't see through. That's why this side does not have that. I do need to clean up the spot there. Okay, then I need it so it looks like the pipe is going inside the coupler on this side. So I'm going to curve it so it looks like it's going inside this piece of plastic and then out the other side. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the funny thing is honestly, this is basically how you draw any cylinder, but you could also, because I'm thinking pipes, just for a joke, you could turn this into toilet paper pretty easy. I know, it's something I see every time, and I just find it kind of funny every time I do this, that it reminds me of toilet paper roll. Yeah. So, what are we going to do with this? Well, we need it on here. So, I'm going to do a coupler right here. I erase, draw my box bigger. I curve it. Make sure they're all going the same way. Backside. And I make it look like it's going inside the piece. Okay. Then the same thing here. I'm going to have a pipe going this way, so I'm going to turn my paper to make it easier. Okay, there's my coupler 1, coupler 2. You need 2 to 3 couplers. So I could put another coupler here. I would not want to put a coupler here or here where they're crisscrossing. That is just not a good idea. It's too many lines to deal with and mess with. You want it in a clearly open section to make it easier for yourself. Be careful you don't put one pipe hiding behind another pipe. That is another error I see. And what I mean by that is if I was to draw this pipe right here, going straight across, see how it would actually hide a section of it? When we get to coloring, it becomes a nightmare to deal with because we can only see parts of the section and you won't be able to get the coloring right. So it would be better to move it so I could see it clearly cut across and not hide pieces of it. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Remember, I need you to draw 4 to 5 pipes, each with a bend, but you may have one that's straight. You do not have to have one that's straight, but you may. And I need 2 to 3 couplers. Okay. Get this part done, take a photo of it, upload it for me, and I will see you next week.